Have you ever wondered what kind of games you could buy for $4 for the PS2? Well, I have. Look no further, this is the definitive guide, best in the world, 2 million views on YouTube. Yeah. I don't even remember what. I, I'm not a professional reviewer. These aren't hidden gems, not holy grail games worth millions of dollars. I'm going to play some games that I probably haven't played before. A lot of them are worth 5 or 10 bucks. Anyway, here they are. The first game I'm going to talk about is a SpongeBob game. For whatever reason, I have multiple SpongeBob games in my collection. Trust me, that's not some kind of low-key flex or what us old guys call bragging. Nope. I'll openly admit that I haven't given any of them much time, not because they don't seem as though they're worth it, just that I'm not really even a SpongeBob fan. Anyway, let's focus on this particular title for the PS2, SpongeBob Squarepants featuring Nicktoons, Globs of Doom. That is a mouthful, holy crap. It's a late 2008 release for the PS2, so fairly late in the PS2 life cycle. Also released for the Nintendo Wii and DS, but I do not care about those releases because I probably own them, but I've never played them. I don't know anything about them. Where are we here? What was I talking about? So once I fired this up, it was really obvious to me that presentation and quality quite high. The heck's going on here? Cutscenes, from what I've seen, fairly true to the source material. Very well animated. The voice acting's also top notch using the show's actual cast for the key characters.
SpongeBob, what's happening?
Loading times, quite reasonable, and from what I've seen, the player can progress through the level without much interruption. So none of that play for 5 minutes interrupted for half an hour cutscene bull. Graphics and sound are pleasing, although I found some of the sound effects to be a little repetitive, especially the jumping. I don't know that jumping sound effect. Boing, boing. Gaming is gaming is the gameplay is, in my mind, reminiscent of Super Mario 64. Obviously, less of an open world. Obviously, you're not running around as Mario, you're SpongeBob. Come on now. But there are some branching paths on this. Find some secrets, yo. For the price of this one, I definitely recommend it to anyone looking for PS2 games on the cheap, especially if you're a fan of the series. Next up is a golf game. Just for a few bucks, you can get your PS2 golf game on with Hot Shots Golf 4. Clever wordplay there. Get it? 4? Anyway, I'll shut up. Released in 2004, it really received universal praise. It's kind of like an arcadey style golf game. It's got everything you need to scratch your arcade golf itch. You know, the one you've been meaning to have checked out by your physician. If you have one, just the itch, that is. Maybe the way things are today, maybe you don't have a physician. I played this a bunch years ago, and to be honest, it felt great to play it again recently. For this footage, I actually played it more than just what I captured because I wanted to get good, but it didn't really happen yet. So even though I basically sucked for this footage, I still had a blast. Got frustrated, couple holes, threw my controller through the... No, I didn't throw it. There's a ton of replay value in this game, it seems. There's a bunch of unlockables, which of course I didn't unlock because I didn't play that well. The controls are fairly simple, and you can... I didn't try it, but there's an easy mode too. I imagine that's even easier, but it's just a basic press the button, press it again at the right time to lock in your power and then lock in your accuracy. I found it really easy to jump back in because it's really similar to a lot of other golf games. So, you know, I was ready for them birdies. Or like quadruple bogeys. It was pretty bad. I got like 9 on a par 3 a couple times. This game even looks like it could be an early PS3 title. Really clear visuals, cutesy kind of graphics throughout the whole thing. Whether or not you're into that, it helped it age better than if it was going for a realistic look. And these hot shots golf games, they're not known for their realistic looking visuals. The sound effects were good. Music was good, pretty chill, nothing offensive, nothing standing out, but it was all well done. Could probably do without a lot of the cheesy lines from the caddies and the golfers, like things like hearing, "You get a lollipop" after every good shot you make. Gets old quickly. And that was one of the gripes in all the older reviews I looked at. A lot of people weren't too fond of that repetitive, cutesy voice. Oh well, it's a fun game, and I don't even like golf that much. I've played it in real life. I suck at that too. It's fun to get outdoors, but this one you don't need to go outside. You just sit down. You can play it outside. You gotta set your PS2 up and a TV up outside, which, that could actually be cool. So, with great visuals, sound, even physics, and gameplay, pretty good multiplayer support, this is one cheap PS2 sports game that is really worth checking out, in my opinion. What can I say about this next game that hasn't already been said? Probably nothing, because I know nothing and I am nobody. Tekken 4 was a fairly early release for the PS2 in 2002. I don't know, I'm no Tekken enthusiast, but it's hard to get a better bang for your buck than if you're into fighting games. If you're a fan of the series, you already know that this is a no-brainer. I was always more of a Mortal Kombat fan myself, but I've really enjoyed playing different titles in the Tekken series over the years, just not very in depth. To me, fighting games are always at their best when you're playing opposite a friend or a loved one, a spouse. What better way to release some of that passive-aggressive tension between one another? To be honest, I find the Tekken series can be favorable to a button mashing technique such as the one my wife implements, which, it's really good because a lot of times it can be frustrating for new players to play against someone who knows all the special moves. So this helps even out the field a little bit, in my opinion, and be a little more casual friendly, I guess. Of course, with the Tekken series, production quality is extremely high. As soon as you turn it on, you know you're in for something special. Graphics, music, sound, they're all what you've come to expect from the series. I really like the arenas and backgrounds, really animated, great music, and they're all unique. It just adds a nice variety to the game. The animation of the characters is awesome, if not a little goofy at times, which just adds to the game's charm, in my opinion. I mean, who can't bend their leg like that? I know I can. Now, I haven't played Tekken 4 that much and had something, a bit of a revelation while playing this for this video, and I really didn't expect it. It caught me off guard. I love music, particularly I love music in games. Ever since the days of trying to beat a level in Ninja Gaiden or Contra as a young fella on my NES, just trying to find what awesome music lay ahead. This is like discovering something. It's like finding a chocolate under the couch cushion. Wait, that was chocolate, right? Right? Anyway, who cares? When I first heard the jungle theme from Tekken 4, I was literally blown away. I'm not exaggerating here. This rarely happens. I've since added it to my playlist of enjoyable video game soundtracks, and I highly recommend checking it out if you're a fan of music, video game music. Check it out if you haven't already. There's a lot more that I could talk about as far as content goes. A ton of unlockables. I didn't have time to go through all that this playthrough, but there's tons of reviews out there by far better people than me. I really enjoyed playing through the single player mode, just the arcade mode. A lot of fun, especially with unlimited continues. Although, like, most of the time, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. But I was still beating beating the snot out of some people. I managed to figure out some combos and some of the juggles in order to beat the man who was, let's just say, he was dressed to impress in his adult diaper for sure. It was interesting, pretty gross actually. It did take me several attempts, but with the unlimited continues, like I mentioned before, nice. Most casual players could probably do the same on medium difficulty, which is what I had it on, to capture this footage. Definitely pick this one up if you come across it in the wild, and good news is you can still pick it up on eBay for a decent price. And for a final game today, there's going to be more. This next one, I sunk more hours into this than I've put into exercising my body in the last 40 years. That's not true. There's no way that can be true. Okay, not that much, but really, I've played it a lot. Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec was released in 2001. At the time, in my opinion, there was very little out there that could compete with it, and not much that's in the same along the same lines. A lot of arcadey, and there was also on the PC scene, there was hardcore sims, and I would not consider, some people consider Gran Turismo Series A sim. I do not consider it a true sim. I play it with a controller. I don't play it with wheel and pedals because that kind of setup is ugh. GT3 brought a sim-ish experience to the PS2. Having had great success with its previous release, Gran Turismo 2 on the PS1, Polyphony, they really cranked it up a notch for Gran Turismo 3. They wanted to show off those sick PS2 visuals and capabilities, and they really did. Like, I was really blown away. I bought this early. I used my vacation pay when I left my job to go to college to buy a PS2 and Gran Turismo 3. This game was literal therapy for me back in college. I would get so relaxed in the middle of a race at night in my room in an apartment. I would fall asleep only to wake up to find my 400 horsepower Miata gently resting against a guardrail. How'd it get there? I don't know, I blacked out. A quick half-awake glance at the lap timer would indicate a 3-hour, 18-minute and counting lap time. Not too bad, I guess. I still have my first game save and remember my first starter car. So I threw a turbo, a computer, and exhaust on this Miata, and it went from like slow-mo to hold your horses. Hold your horses. Pretty much everything except car variety was a huge step up from Gran Turismo 2. I loved Gran Turismo 2. It's the only game I've ever pre-ordered, but this one, to me, it blew it away, except for the car selection. The tracks, the car models, the tuning, the couch multiplayer, it's a whole other experience. It's great. And that's probably why I included it here. Everyone knows the Gran Turismo series, but GT3 is often kind of overlooked. It's dirt cheap. You get way more than your money's worth. So if you want to get your arcade sim-ish race on your PS2, pick up Gran Turismo 3. You're not going to be disappointed. It offers a lot of content, and it's still a blast to this day. You know, like, although Gran Turismo 4 is often cited as being the best Gran Turismo on the system, for the price, there's really no reason to skip over this one. Aye, there you go. Just 4 games for now. I have a stack to go through for future videos. I'm really looking forward. Oh, my land. I'm really looking forward to sharing the others get through the PS2 ones, and then I'm going to move on to some other systems. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.